Y'all already acting up in the chat. Somebody in the chat said it's 9. Come on, y'all should be looting. Somebody said, let's go. We're here, y'all. We here. We here. We starting on time, man. It's like 9 o'clock basically. We're not on CP time.
2 minutes behind, man. Give us a break, you know?
We was over here.
Figure out how to use Chrome and shit, you know?
But if for anybody who's watching and tuned in, you're not familiar with what's going on. We're gonna have a discussion slash debate about the comments that Lil Wayne made in regards to Minneapolis, and it's all started from a tweet from my guest here, Mr. Lunchmoney Lewis, Billboard chart topper for the single "Bills."
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Dear white people in Hotep Jesus." I don't know how I got grouped there with white people.
Ah,
He said, Wayne was saved by a white cop when he shot himself as a kid. It's a personal opinion. Don't try to spin it to fit your bullshit narrative on oppression and policing black folk. This ain't the time for that.
read it. It sounds so bad when you read it.
That's what you said.
I know.
You said it with your chest too.
I said it with my all chest, all the taco me, everything.
So tell us, where'd that come from? What made you jump out the window and say that?
Well, I I know Wayne personally. I've known him for a long time. I've worked with him, done songs with him, done songs for him with from the Carter Five. Or he's a friend. So when I was on Twitter, I saw, quote unquote, like, a couple of my friends, my black friends, black Twitter, a little, deranged, they're not understanding the vibe of what he said. Then I saw, I hate this word, but there's a kind of conservative white Twitter taking and having their fun with the narrative. And then I saw my man Hotep in the middle of both with a conversation piece on it. So when I saw it, I was like, I wanted to address everybody's feelings on it at one time. So I
Okay.
don't know how I got, that was my dear white people in hot tub. I think I included you in Black Twitter at that moment, along with other opinions, and I was kind of expressing that Wayne's opinion is a personal opinion. When he was young, he shot himself when he was rhyming. He said a couple officers stepped over him, and a white officer picked him up and took him to the hospital and saved his life.
Right.
So I think every time Wayne talks about these issues, people don't understand that it's from a personal place.
Right.
It's not a very broad spectrum opinion on what's going on.
Right.
So I was trying to clarify it for some of my friends on Black Twitter too. Like, look, he wasn't trying to get at us personally, and
Yeah.
for the conservative white narrative of using it to bait the looting. Like, there's a lot of conversations like, oh, police aren't bad and the looting, let's focus on that. When I'm like, let's focus on the injustice. Let's not deflect. Let's narrow it there, and let's not use Wayne as an scapegoat for all of our narratives.
Uh.
Like, the truth has timing, so it was a weird timing to imply something like that when the emotions are so high with everybody. So it's like, when you drop a hot opinion like that in the midst of chaos, there's gonna be a lot of different narratives, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's for me to even say, like, I didn't even completely I knew where you were coming from. It was from
Yeah.
a point of view of, like, us broadening our minds on the ideals of what's going on. But I did just feel like all of our timing on something like that, people couldn't even accept that truth at the moment, because it was like, look at what we dealing with at the moment. Like, we just got through we're going through an extreme injustice. There's people people's emotions are high. So I just took it upon myself to go, okay, look, let me shed my opinion from a personal opinion too, because I know him and I didn't want to. It would be weird if I said something that for somebody I had no idea who the hell they were.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm speaking from knowing the actual story and knowing Wayne's plight, also kind of defending Wayne in a way, like, he's not trying to attack anybody. He's not feeling our injustice and our pain. He's just saying that, look, this is what happened to me.
Right.
So I think
Right.
I was having fun with that too. I know I came
Yeah.
off, as they say, lunch cheeky. You know, you
Yeah,
know.
the part that resonated most with me was when he said, something about, I don't, after you tweet, what do you do next? And what
Fact.
I see a lot of is a lot of tweeters, a lot of Twitter fingers, a lot of talking activists, and no action. I
A
was
lot of
just talking about this with Shaka Marquette
mhm.
earlier, before this. And that's a brother who's actually out there putting in the work, spending time. He's got a food bank program, he's got a diaper program, he's got the dress to
No,
impress program for the men that come out of jail so they can get reintroduced back into society and get jobs, computer labs so people can get access to computers. Like these are the real things that need to be happening. And it
mhm.
seems like um, you know, Shakim said there's this Skinner experiment where you feed the rat when he does something that you want him to do, and you don't feed him when he does something that you don't want him to do. And it seems like a lot of the activists follow that, where the white liberal, or depend if you're on the other side of the spectrum, the white conservative
Mhm.
establishment. Let's be clear now, establishment. We're not
Yeah,
talking about the rank and file.
yeah,
Establishment feeds you when you follow a certain narrative.
yeah.
Now, if Wayne would have came out and said, "Oh my God, um, cops are evil," which he wouldn't because of his personal experience,
Of
I
course.
think he would have been met. Black Twitter and said, "Oh my God, he's a hero,"
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But because his message was of accountability, and accountability is a very hard pill to swallow, a lot of people didn't like it. And that's why I lied to you and said I did if I didn't think I was going to start something with my comment, I'd be
Oh,
lying to you. I knew I was starting something with it.
yeah,
But I felt it was important to defend Lil Wayne because not only is he one of our greatest,
yeah.
but I hate this whole thing where because somebody doesn't agree with you, now everybody on the internet is jumping on him.
Yeah, you're a hater. You're this that we start that narrative of just a juxtaposition of what you think is normal for us to talk about. Now
Right.
you're on the other side of the fence,
Right.
which I get completely. And I'm big on, Twitter is that's why I said to you before we even got on camera, I'm not big on the Twitter banter because I don't have to make a scene about everything I do. I don't got to talk about all the things I do for people that look like me. It's just about doing it, and I think we miss that opportunity at times due to us being in high emotion. We are a high emotional people due to living in a country where you had high emotion at all times, no matter whether you're wealthy, whether you're black and I mean, how whatever spectrum you are of being black, you're dealing with a lot. One thing, one comment, one picture can spark a wave of emotions. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I felt what you said wasn't wrong at all. I just think, and I was saying that the truth is in timing, though. And at a time like this, it's hard to accept, when emotions are high and there's an injustice, nobody can even accept those truths at the moment. We need to get to a place where we're like in clarity so we can sit back and go, when Joe shot the Fat Joe, the OG, when he was doing the interview with Wayne, I don't think even Wayne is such a guy who lives in his own world about his life. He's very about him. Wayne is very like, I don't care. Like, I'm just saying how I feel type nigga. I go skateboard, I'm gonna go smoke some bud, and I'm gonna go rap my ass off.
Yeah.
When he was saying it in a way of personal experience, like I said. And we live in a world where if you're black and you have an adjusted position to what we're normally conditioned to think, people are going to attack you and they're going to say things about you. And I'm usually a person that, like I said before, I don't mind us having those conversations about what we should do,
Mm.
but in good timing, like
Mm.
right now, we can't even push those messages through about what we should do because all we're going to do is argue with each other at this moment. It's like homies are in my, we have 93 group chats, all of us, 60 political ones, 20 other ones that are about random weird shit that we probably wouldn't say right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And, they asking me, like, what do I think about us looting? And I say, it's easy to talk about looting right now. Like to change the narrative from injustice to looting is like that fast.
Yeah.
Even with the
Yeah.
news cycles, it's easy to go, oh, they're looting. And it's like, but what about why are we moving these narratives away from the actual reaction instead of what happened?
Yeah. What caused that?
Because of that, like people don't just go outside and start burning shit to the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's like years. I mean, I've seen people get mad about, when we get angry, it gets serious.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting angry for ourselves. We're getting angry for like a whole heap of motherfuckers at the
For
same time.
Harriet Tubman.
You know what I mean? You getting angry because of your granddad or the 2 generations ago who was on the. I'm Jamaican, like I'm a Jamaican American.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. So we
Yeah.
got different. That's hence why I can see your narratives are a lot different because you come from a different thing. Now that I know that,
Yeah.
um, like we have we get angry for it. It's like this. Our temper, is one thing. I mean, a white person can say anything to us, and it changes change the whole course of our day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So especially when we got to hear it from our own people in weird timing, it's gonna be like I don't want to. We're not gonna even accept the message. The message is diluted.
So here's my thing with the timing though.
Yeah.
It let's say Wayne um offered his unsolicited advice and
Mm.
just decided to go live and talk about this thing and said that, I'd be like, damn, Wayne, that was bad timing.
Yeah.
The fact that Fat Joe asked him,
Yeah, and he told him, yeah.
it was just like he was just answering a question. And the way he answered the question was the way that I feel when people ask me this question, like even when white people, I've been with straight up white people, and um, when I say white people, I mean pro white people. Like we can sit in the same room. They know I'm pro black and they're pro white. And
Exactly.
and
I
they
think
and
kind of white people.
yes. And
Yeah.
they honestly asked me like, how can the black community get better? And honestly, it's really a frustrating thing to sit down and think about.
What a question.
Yeah, because it's like, where do we begin?
Yeah.
So when Wayne answers this question, he's answering it from a place I resonate with because it's like, how many times have we seen this scene?
I mean,
Like, it's like every election season, right?
yeah.
So it's just like if we see a cycle and our reaction is the same every single
Yeah,
time,
we're gonna get the same. Yeah,
results.
it's gonna be the same results every time.
So I feel like Wayne he's speaking from a place of like, I don't even care no more. Like I give up, yo. Like
Yeah,
what are
like
y'all gonna do? We're different.
yeah, and people are gonna be mad whether you say. I mean, at this point, whether you say something or not, and it's a weird time to have white friends. Like I said that yesterday. Like it's a weird time to have. I
Is
have.
it?
It's a weird time to have white friends because when stuff like this happens, as a black person who may be more exposed to certain things, and you have friends from all different types of nationalities, but you're also pro black, very pro black. When things like this happen, you're looking at your white friends like, I don't know what to say to you because I'm upset. You're on the other side of the fence, quote unquote.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to have a weird conversation with you because I'm upset about how the ministry or the system is treating me. Do you play along to the system? I have no idea.
Uh,
Me and my friend Scotch Davis, who's another artist from New York, we have a good conversation. And we always say white supremacy has no face. We don't know who to argue with.
mm,
We don't even know who to be mad at.
mm.
Who are we mad at? I don't even, they say cut the head off the king and the body fall. Like, whose head do we cut off?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know who to be angry at most of the times when I'm angry. And then we see our white friends walk in with something and we're like, you see, you're the problem why everything is like the way it is right now. It's like, it's a weird time when injustice happens and, you want to be super upset. And then we're in mixed emotions. And then your favorite rapper in the world drops a huge bomb on you. Like, not for me personally,
Right,
just
right. The community.
community who we revere, we worship celebrity for some reason in our business. So when these people say things, and it is a responsibility if you have a lot of influence,
Yes, yes, it is.
you say these things and then it turns into a frenzy. The reason I commented was because I know where he was coming from.
Yeah, yeah.
Personal experience can't be boxed into everyone's experience.
Right.
Like there is probably one black guy out there where a white person did pull them from a drowning pool,
Right.
and you might ask him about white people and he might say, yo, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
But in the temperament of where we're at, that's not the discussion right now. The
Uh,
discussion is even whether you're black, white, Asian, nothing, it's an injustice to a human being
yeah.
that we should handle. And
Uh,
we should all try to be on one accord about whatever we got to figure out to get it done. Like I'm not out. They're holding a protest out here in Miami tomorrow.
okay.
Everyone's going down to rally. From all different type of things. And my girl asked me if I was going, And I'm a big fan of Dick Gregory, and I just remember how he was just always like, "Well, y'all gonna march again and go up and down the street? You go, you go, are we gonna be more Martin or more Malcolm at this moment?" You know what I'm saying? Where it's
Yeah.
like people burning a police station down to the ground, to me was kind of powerful. Weirdly, I know some of my white friends who I was in my group chat were like, "This is incredibly disrespectful to the city with people in their jobs," and I'm like, "Yeah, but have you ever been that angry?" Like, yeah, like have you ever been that mad? So there's a point in me where I'm like, where I would tell my people, like I tell, like how I'm talking to you in our own controlled environment, like
Yeah.
I don't like embarrassing black people on public forums when we look crazy. Even
Yeah.
though we look crazy, I'm like, man, I want to really say something to this nigga right now. But if I do, I know all the other people watching are gonna agree with me, and it's gonna make him feel like shit even more. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, I say like maybe we should go about things a certain way, but at this moment, I have empathy for the anger. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you know,
yes.
that's how that's I can see why I mean, niggas is tight.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm with you on the empathy part. 100%. 100%.
mhm,
One thing I tweeted, I said, it's mighty funny that people were real slow to condemn the actions of a police officer that murdered an American,
yeah,
regardless of skin color, murdered
mm,
an American, but they were very quick to chastise looters. Now, when the same people
mm,
are complaining of oppression in France and they go by the name of Yellow Jackets, they're heroes.
mhm,
When people are expressing their frustrations and quote unquote looting in Hong Kong,
mhm.
because of an oppressive regime of the CCP and the British Parliament.
Yep,
They're heroes.
hero. We even praise him.
We praised them.
Our
But
president has said,
yes,
"Liberate yourself, people of another country,
yes. But
people
when
who are
the
thousands of miles away."
but when it's us, we're looters and thugs.
We're crazy. We're
Yeah,
villains. We're
it,
villainizing people. We're like,
it's not justified.
no, it's not just. We can't. That's what I'm. I like. I hate bringing up Colin Kaepernick because it's such.
Yeah,
It's a weird. You
it's a
know,
weird
people
situation.
always
Yeah.
go, you bring up Cap, but I'm saying it is a very clear.
Hmm.
In the moment when all of it happened and he lost his what he does for a living, and we were all, and a few even of our rappers from Hove to people stepped in, and there was a moment. There's always like a sheer moment of where our own people are mad at somebody, at our own people, because we've been through waves with Cap. We were with him, and then some people had a different, like Obama. We were with him. Now we have certain opinions about him. It gets into this weird space with us where we almost start liking you and then noticing things that might dislike you for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Been that wave with Cap, but now his what he did to me is even more clear in a moment like this, right? Like no matter what, whatever, however, why he did it, that was as peaceful as people could have gotten.
Okay.
Like it can't get any more peaceful than kneeing at a football game.
Right.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, he didn't hit no one with popcorn. He didn't push no one off the bench. Anything. He didn't.
Yeah.
He ain't even a starting quarterback. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's like getting mad at the water boy for like you the second, third string quarterback. I mean, but I think that arena where he did it at is so populated in black culture where they kind of need us more than they don't need us in that arena that
Okay.
it sparked a big. I mean, I've never seen a news story like this over someone like taking a knee.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now we fast forward to us. Now we're pissed.
Mm.
We saw a dude beg for his mother online. Like we died on camera.
Yeah.
However, whatever the reason, people are burning down everything. They're mad. They're upset. We're liberating ourselves. That's been a big word lately. We're liberating ourselves. But now it's like you're being too crazy now.
Uh.
And now you're being too calm. That's why it's like, what do you want us to be? Do you want us to be calm? Do you want us to be mad? Do you not hate using the word niggas, but do you want niggas to be calm? Do you want us to be happy, sad,
they
medium?
want they want you to take your licks and shut up.
To shut up. They want us to be quiet. They don't want us to say anything at all. They want us to be poised.
Yeah.
I should be able to be whatever I want to be, but you guys cannot sit back in a moment like this and tell us how to behave. When we are behaved for you, we try to be like, okay, let's be peaceful. Let's kneel. maybe this will work.
Yeah.
Ah, we got Pence showing up to football games, acting like he like football. You know what I'm saying? We got all type of things going on. More Donnie like football than you. He been trying to get in the NFL for 100 years, but your
Yeah.
ass is showing up to the games and all of this type of energy. But then, and I'm not making it about the president either. That's an easy scapegoat. We're not
Right.
talking about him. We're just
Right.
talking about actualities. But now a dude burnt. Now we're mad. And now it's like relax.
Yeah.
It's like relax. I'm
You
like, yo,
can't.
I can't, I gotta find the emotion to be like, I gotta find, and that's the thing where I tell what I'm agreeing with you on is that people play on our emotions
Oh yes.
yeah, constantly. We're upset. We can't be upset. We're sad. We can't be sad. We want to be peaceful. We can't. At some point, somebody gonna light some shit on fire. Point, we gonna burn some shit down to the ground. Like people are gonna be very upset. And I'm seeing on Twitter, like in different cities now, it's getting even crazier. And the funny thing, not to keep rambling, but I'm looking, and it's not only black folk people out there, which they keep concentrating on looters being black. And I'm like, yo, I saw 93, I saw a white woman running out of Target with toilet paper in her hand. I'm like, yo, like, why is this about us? Like, we ain't the only ones out there. You think we the only ones that like Target? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out, like, dude, when I go to Target, I bought this chair from Target 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in there. I'm from Miami. I see my Cuban homies, all type of people in Target. Target is for everybody. Don't
Yeah.
think it's like we just want to go to Target and take everything out of Target. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I saw a white lady running out with toilet paper, another one had a plunger in her hand. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this ain't only about us now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my whole. That,
I don't think you can tell people how to grieve the dead. That's something that I think is rude. Let me read some super chats because people are super chatting. Phil, thank you. Appreciate you again. He said, my fave person on Twitter, my fave person in real life. Love y'all both. Appreciate you, Phil.
yes, sir. Phil,
Uh,
my name Feeve.
okay. Oh, you know him?
Yeah, Feeve's the home. He checked in. He was excited.
Oh, okay. Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Jeremy J. Mike Coleman, he said, Phil will not out donate me. He posted $11.
They might.
Nerd Nash, what up, nerd? 4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, homie. Phil, yeah, right, Mikey. 14.99. Phil, this is for the political chat. They having auction super
Yeah,
chat battle in here.
Found Tony is big fan. When I said I was coming on, I'm like, man, I'm happy to talk to Hotep, man. Now I know he's making this lit.
Yo, if they gonna do this, you gonna have to come back more often.
No, I'm bringing forth 14.99 to the building. Like, shit.
But yeah, I definitely, my thing is when I tweeted that 100%, agreeing with Lil Wayne, I know people saw it as insensitive. But the night before, I tweeted a picture of Ezel. Remember Ezel on Friday running down the street
Yeah,
with the stolen
yeah,
goods? I said, yo, if the PS5 was out, I'd be in Minneapolis and Target getting my PS5.
yeah. I mean, I saw my homie Chase the Cash was online, and he saw the homies busting the Rolexes down, and he was like, yo, if y'all get a good one, hold it down for me. I might be able to grab that for you. And like, it's jokes, and like it's just, the thing is, I feel like our people are so good at finding joy within pain. Like
We mastered that.
we mastered when it's this like point of where we can't be happy. We have to find the jokes. We got to find, we are the creative strand of human, so we can make anything funny, anything a song, anything a moment. So at that point it's like I'm hurting. I don't want to see people that look like me going through that. But then we like, yo, if you got Rolexes for sale, fuck it, let me get two of them things. If you got, because we got to figure out how to cope, you know what I'm saying, with everything going on, because it's so much, like, it's so much shit going on. And I feel like it's more of a at this point something got to happen, like, if we if it's 2020 and I can FaceTime someone from the other side of the world, we shouldn't be worrying, we shouldn't be going through the same things that people have been going through for generations and shit, like, technology is just advancing us, not to, like, on a voting system, but I was an advocate for Andrew Yang.
Okay.
I was a big fan of him because I felt like I didn't want to support somebody who had all of these left, right kind of. It got kind of messy with that, like,
Okay.
because I'm a person who has conservative views and I have liberal views. I'm allowed to be moderate,
Absolutely.
and black folk who are taxpayers are allowed to be whatever they want to be.
Right.
that supports their lifestyle. So when I supported Yang, I just wanted to hear ideas that were advancements in human what we were going on. So it inspired me. So I was rallying with him. I was just like supporting him, like, yo, I'm with that. You know, it was a little different. You know, you an Asian brother, you an Asian American. I like that. You know, it's a little different. So
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, in race relations in the country, it's just like we really going, you know, can we get something that can y'all do something? Can we do something? Can we get to a place where we don't all have to, you know, and we need our white brothers and sisters, you know. When we march up and down the street, we might get the
I want
police.
to talk about that. I want to talk about that because my girl came to me earlier, and I think there's two groups here, right?
Mhm,
One group was a kid she went to high school with who I think exclusively dates white women.
mhm.
And he was complaining like, "Oh, I can't even go online. People are complaining about white people." And, you know, so she came to me and vented to me like, "Yo, what's wrong with this dude? Like, he's out here acting like, there aren't legitimate gripes to be had." And I just let her vent, because, I know that
Been
archetype
hot on
of
that one.
venting.
I already know. Keep going.
Yeah. So I let her vent, and then she was talking about, well, what about some of the white people, that are quiet? A lot of white people, they were outspoken before on certain topics, but now they real quiet. And I say, oh, the quiet ones, yeah, that's another demographic of people. There's a lot of quiet ones.
Who are you
And then
voting for? I'm not telling you, people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it was a third group that another dude brought up. It's a white dude,
Mhm.
conservative, but his white liberal friends want him to admit he has white privilege or something like that. And if he doesn't talk about it, then he's racist. And
Yeah,
my response to that was, well, tell your white liberal friends, fund a black business, because we don't care about that, that talk.
yeah, but then yeah, all of that. You support us, Five. I mean, that's like I don't, you know, I don't care. Nah, you know, Madonna. I don't care how many black babies you adopt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, have you bought jerk chicken from your local spot lately? From
Yeah.
the mom and pops? You know, I'm big. Same here. Like, you know, I'm not with the like the the so-called what they say white liberal banter, or even that's why I said I do like appreciate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pandering to you. Yeah.
pandering to me on any conservative liberal.
Right.
What are you really doing for the economic course of our, you know, because that's the big conversation for us is economics. You know,
Right.
it's more economics than it is race because it's classism, it's racism, it's where they see us on the totem pole of America. You
Bingo.
know, you're not gonna, yeah, if America's a business, you know, we're the lowest share. We have the lowest share. So it's like if something happens to us, of course we're gonna be like the last ones they care about because we don't contribute. Our race is built everything and done everything, and we have the biggest commerce as far as culture, but we don't contribute enough to the fabric of the economic for them to care about our bodies if we die or not. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if they lose two, even if, you know, this might be crazy, but if two Jewish people get hurt, that's like a mountain. That's like an echo chamber of $100. That's like $10 million with 10 phone calls.
Be careful now.
I'm saying it, but I'm saying no. It's not to say that I don't love Jews. I have Jewish
Right.
friends. Like,
Right. Right.
I got to be careful. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
any white, you know, people, Asian people, anybody that contributes to the fabric of the country
Yeah.
in an economic point of view, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Music industry. I have tons of friends that are Jewish. I have friends that are, and that's why I feel like I can speak for this because I got homies that will vouch for me that
Yeah.
are not of my culture that will say, "Hey, that's my dog." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm not speaking in a bad way. I'm just saying like it. We
Right.
need
Right.
more about us because I do admire the systems of other races, how they have managed to control themselves in this atmosphere that is America. We just never got the opportunity to. So, hence in hip hop too, just those executives in hip hop who have been speaking out and standing with the artists. And some artists are very quiet right now because they know they don't want to upset, me. I'm free, company. I'm independent. I got a partner. He's my dog, but we don't. I can do what I can say. I'm not gonna lose anything. Like to gain anything or whatever. But it's been real. Like you said, it's real solid. But I'm saying we need to figure out those. Those are things that are like how I'm talking to you. I wish we could get into a certain place where we can all talk about it and build it together. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Not in front of the world though. Not in
Mm,
front of, not on the Breakfast Club when like we all are. Not
mm,
even saying I love Charlemagne. I'm just saying like I wish we didn't have to attack each other to lower. You know what I'm saying? We argue in
mm,
front of ourselves too much.
mm,
If we had
mm.
a basketball team, we would be getting blown out. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, I know they're gonna cross over here, they're gonna throw the ISO low on the back. We need to like talk like how I'm talking with you and say, hey, this is what we doing. We got a chain to this. You Caribbean. Caribbean people do it a lot,
Oh yes.
contributing to this fabric that is America, very low key. We don't really say a lot of things, but we have a set structure of business and things like that. And I feel like I wish that was more for my homies that are more of the Black American, us to get together and be like, yo, let's figure out a real plan for ourselves economically. You know what I'm saying? So they can understand that if you lose one of us, you're losing a whole motherfucking lot. Not just culture, not just a hot song and us catching a touchdown or a basketball jump shot.
Yeah.
I said that the other day, like there's black dentists, like brothers are doctors and shit too, like brothers own construction companies.
Yeah.
Like we got other jobs.
Yeah.
Like, can somebody acknowledge our other jobs? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we make a song about the black? My dentist is black.
My dentist is black.
And we lift him up off the ground like we lift off like our homies that sell 1 million records every time they come out. I mean,
Yeah.
it just depends on where we place in our like where we place our like who's
Who who we prop up as our idols
is an idol. You know what I'm saying? And then
is
you break it
important.
down when a brother like Wayne, who's in a free space, says something like that. But it's like you giving, Wayne don't want you to like him like that. That's not, he's like
Yeah.
saying, look, that happened to me. That's not for all of us. That's not for like the, white conservative narrative to take it and say, see, I told you, and not for the black Twitter to our people to go demonize him now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And bring his frequency down. When that's not, I know Wayne and I know he wouldn't want to hurt anybody. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
That's the whole, I think your platform is awesome because I think you are speaking in a progressive way for us. Like, open your mind. Everything ain't always what it seems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was the timing of it that made it like weird. You know what I'm saying? Like where
Yeah.
I jumped out, I'm at the crib in basketball shorts, leaning on my bed, like, what Hotep talking about? I gotta say something. Like I'm tweeting white people and shit on a random Friday. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But I think these discussions are good, bro. And and this isn't. I know I said some crazy shit, but I love all my friends from all. I'm not gonna like say that to be super PC, like, but it's true. Like I have it. Like I said, it's weird. It's a weird time to have white friends and be black at the moment. Um, because you got to look at them and help them understand what's going on because they really don't understand some of their privilege at times. When the world works in the course of your life for so much, you're kind of like, what are you talking about?
Uh,
Nah, bro, you got to understand. You need to understand. And if you don't research, I'm not telling you to fully understand,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand what it is to be Asian. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you, like, you should be aware. That's
Yeah.
all we ask for,
Yeah.
awareness. Like,
Yeah.
I'm aware of things that happen to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do the when things happen to us where you sit back and go, but why are they acting like that though? Why are they looting? Like,
Yeah.
why are they looting?
You ain't see that nigga get murdered, motherfucker?
You ain't see a nigga with his knee on the back of his neck. He couldn't breathe. He calling for his mama. What you mean? Why they loot? How would you act? You know what I'm saying? So that part gets a little frustrating. But if you're a non-emotional black, you can explain. Like I saw Jay say something one time in an interview where he said what Donald Sterling said, we shouldn't have got rid of him. We should have he said we should have let him stay because it hid all the other people with those opinions.
Mm,
And when he said that, I thought it was powerful because I was like, it is good to have conversations with people with alternative ideas of you.
yes.
How can we talk? How can we get anywhere if we're always talking to people that agree with us?
Yes.
My group
Yes.
chat, which I'm gonna praise, is like I mean, we are arguing in paragraphs all day about what we feel like this country should be like for people, whoever, whatever. And at the end of the day, it always gets to a healthy point of view where people kind of want the same thing. We want our families to be good. We want this. We want it's the same values with everybody, no matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, But it just gets back to the whole whose side are you on? And I got
Yeah.
here because I feel like this, and I'm like, I'm not participating in that America. That ain't fun to me. If anything, I'm on the black side of things to be keep it real with you. No matter if I told my boy the other day, yeah, Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and all these people and Ben Carson. Sure. You know why I've messed with all of them at once and I'm allowed to? Because they all black. I don't like some of the shit they did. I know how hard it is to get right there. And to be in a spot where you like, you got all of this going on around you. Like, with Obama, with Donald Trump not wanting to unveil his picture in the White House. I told my boy, I said, okay, we all mad at Obama now, right? But a lot of black folk have alternate opinions on who Obama is and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, if you're black in America and you're willing to agree and to support the backtracking of his career, you are crazy. Because America to me is symbolism. He don't got 10 baby mamas. He got one wife. He got two kids with perms. His wife got a perm. If even if I don't like everything he did, which is hard to be black and be the number one nigga in the when you black and
Yeah.
you got responsibility, you the
Yeah.
breadwinner or whatever you are,
Yeah.
there's 100 brothers behind you like, do good,
Yeah.
please do good.
Yeah.
It's like maybe he didn't do everything he could, and maybe there's opinions about him, but his legacy being backtracked for us here would be a detriment to like everything we like are working to get toward. Like let
Yeah.
the next person fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
My thing with Obama
I want to
really
know
hasn't changed much, right? I remember being on Rutgers radio and they said to me, they says, who you vote for this election? I said, I'm voting for Barack Obama. They said, why? I said, because he's black.
simple.
Now, a lot of people will say that's ignorant. You
Love it.
know what? Yes, it is.
It's amazing.
I'm ignoring all reason. I'm
I'm
I'm being ignorant.
I'm
Yes.
ignoring all of you.
Yeah, I mean,
It ain't
all it
it
ain't about that. It
ain't
ain't about
about that.
that.
It ain't
It's
about
about the fact that my son get to see a nigga in that White House. That's all I needed him to do.
I needed
He
to see
went in, he came out with no scandals,
no scandals,
no
nothing.
rape charge.
A couple little, nothing too crazy. He made us look
Yeah,
good on the sense of when your uncle show up to the house and he don't
right.
curse around your girlfriend's parents and he don't fuck up at the barbecue and make you look crazy. He didn't make
Yeah,
us look crazy at all.
right, right, right.
That he left unscathed, and he's a good symbol of exactly what you said. I could tell my nephews and my kids one day, like, look, you have a possibility, even if you don't want to be there. It's a
Right.
America is all symbolism. We know that.
It's all symbolism. Yeah.
From the statues they hang to the Carnegie halls to what it stands for is the symbolism of why a lot of white people don't understand
Yeah.
their privilege.
Like some people said, well, he didn't do nothing for black people. And I'm like, well, technically, I knew he wasn't going to do nothing for black people as soon as he went in because you're not allowed to do nothing for black people, right? It was,
What to do?
like, but the other thing was, I was like, him going through the entire presidency, not getting killed,
Oh,
and coming out scandal free. I was like, it was mission accomplished for
it
me.
was
Now, was it a perfect presidency? Did he sanction the murder of Muammar Gaddafi? And the result was slavery in Africa? Yes.
yes, Livia.
Would it be different if there was another person in his place? No. No
No,
matter who was sitting in that place, the same events would have occurred, which is the same reason why I'm like, I'm not pro Trump, but I like Trump because I realize he's just a character.
yeah,
Like, like Obama was a character, he's an idol for me.
yeah,
And then, Trump is another, I wouldn't say idol, but he's a character
yeah.
in a story.
He's a mirror of American society.
Yes, he's a
You
symbol of
wanted
American society.
that. You guys wanted that. You wanted a guy who isn't like a quote unquote career politician, how they say, and all of that, but he is
Yeah.
an example of capitalist America. This is
Yes.
who you voted in. He's not a guy of which I think is important now, especially right now when I seen what he said yesterday. I understood how important it is to have a president with social understanding, which he lacks a lot of. It's more of like, I come from a business of running my own business and not listening to anybody and getting things done by any means of how I feel like it. That's cool if you're running a corporation. But
Yeah.
that proves right now in this moment that America is not a corporation. It is a playing field of people with emotions from different places, and you have to make people feel at ease and feel good about certain things so we can get to certain. We can't be the president can't be a tyrant. People can be a tyrant, but the president needs to be able to go, look, guys, in Minneapolis, I understand you. I feel you. The National Guard might come down there because things are a little crazy, but I don't want anybody to get hurt. Not if you're looting, we shooting. Like, are
Well,
you?
not to take up for him, but he corrected himself today.
He did correct. I mean, he has to
He
because
backtracked it.
are you dealing with a nigga? You dealing with? Are you from Liberty City on our side or Flatbush or like where are you from? Like you can't be from Madison Avenue talking about if they loot and they shoot, and that sounds like a bar from an old like Fab mixtape or something like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that. It's important when you're a leader to me to have a social side too, because
Mm,
when you deal with social stuff, you have to deal with personality, but I feel like his base is so locked into his ideas that
yes.
he feels like I can shoot someone on Madison Avenue and I would still get elected. You know, when you
Okay.
say something like that, that lets you know how strong he feels about the people that love him. That he
Yes.
knows no matter what, these people got me. But it's at the same time, you're not the president of MAGA America. You're the president of the United States,
Okay.
yeah, of America. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can't pander to only your people because you know they'll be like, I love when he says stuff like that. It keeps
Yeah.
me going. But
Yeah.
then
I like that.
how many people are going to get hurt from misinformation? You know, 99% of the country don't read, black and
Yeah.
white. They
Yeah.
watch the news. Like they watch what the president says. So everything is like it hits here and then it doesn't hit here. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, the president's telling us, that's why like I have a weird feelings about him. Like I'm not, there's things about him that I could go all day about that guy. But for the most part,
I
he's a,
think it's important to talk about though.
yeah, he's a we don't need a tyrant president. I think people in this in
Do
our
you see him as a tyrant?
I see him as polarizing, and I think
Okay.
in today's society, it's cool to be polarizing. The
Okay. Yes.
polarizing figure is right now is like because everyone's so in agreement of certain things that when one person has an alternative decision, everyone rallies behind that person.
Yeah.
And I think that when he came in so bully and he was saying these weird things, he's a conspiracy. He's saying all of these things that I guess people were quote unquote feeling. They felt like that is somebody I should support because of that. Even I mean the uprise of the black conservative, out of nowhere.
Mm,
It's been there. I mean, I told people if you look in history, James Brown supported Nixon, so it's like it's not new for us to be kind of like blacks are pretty much conservative, family values and things of that nature, but
mm,
the uprising of his ideas and stuff. But I think like even from Ye and people who have these polarizing ideas, we get sometimes confused by the facts over the polarizing comments. I think we
mm.
start liking the antics more than we like the truth, which is like, do you like Donald Trump because he's saying things that are outlandish and you're like, yeah, or do you like him because he's telling you the truth? Which I think can be distorted at times with his base, where it's like they defend him no matter what, whether it's the truth or not, just because they think he's saying what they feel.
Yeah.
Which is like,
I
is that the truth, or are we just being like, man, this motherfucker crazy?
yeah, my I was talking to my friend about it. He watches, my stuff and he said, "Brian, you know, do you like Trump like you said because of his antics or because of, you think he's a stand-up guy?" I'm like, I just like him because of his antics. He's like, "Okay, do you think that's healthy?" I'm like, "No." And I thought of I'm like, I see where you're going. Like, no, Trump, his attitude is not healthy for America,
No,
right?
it's too.
My attitude a lot online, a lot. For example, the president of Hotep Nation is A.R. Morton,
Mhm.
author of A $1 Trillion Nation,
Yeah.
Doe Dubes. And a lot of people ask me, like, why is he, the president? We thought you ran it, da da da. I'm like, I'm not ready to be that leader. I still got a lot of learning to do. I still got a lot of edges to smooth out.
Yeah. Removing in a room full of vultures.
Yeah.
That
And
approach, the Obama,
yeah,
approaches.
I don't have that yet,
Yeah.
right? And I want to get to that place. The reason why I like Trump or the fact that I like Trump is showing you how immature I am.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
no,
see what I'm saying?
you know what? To be completely honest, I think why even Kanye aligns himself. It's the same reason why we like Ye in a weird reason. We like that he says what he thinks,
Yes.
but is
That's what I love.
Is it always healthy? Is the question.
No, it's not.
It's not always
It's
healthy.
not always healthy.
The thing, I'll give you this. I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump at all, but there is the one thing that I do like about him, which I will give credit to on this platform, only on Hotep. You know, I will say that I like how he aggravates white people in a weird way.
Yeah, I love that
He's
shit.
going in a weird way
I
because
love it.
his ideas, for some reason, Malcolm always talks about the white liberal, and things of that nature. He, for some reason, gets these people going in a certain way that kind of makes me laugh sometimes because I'm like, this is hilarious shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really nothing to be to, but they get so riled up about things and they don't even really mean a lot of the things they say on the behalf of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
kind of like that he bothers them at times.
Yeah.
The hyper celebrity people sit in their crib all day and act like they care. And I'm in the music industry, like these people don't. So it's like, that type of thing. But that's like one of the things that I do. I'll give him that credit for. But on a grand scale of things, I think it's healthier in America, in a country with so much like different demographic of people and feelings. We can't have somebody. It would be cool if he was. It would be cool if there was him and then Andrew Yang, who had good tech ideas, who can talk to Elon Musk all day about AI and about the future of our jobs and what are humans going to be like in the future. And then you got this crazy guy, Donald Trump, that cares about numbers in the stock market all day, doesn't care about who you are, what you got going on. He just wants to feed the beast that is of the wealth. And then you got somebody who's poised and could deliver
Mm,
that message and keep everybody. That's in a perfect utopian world. But
right.
I think those things are important because look at right now, like we need somebody who can go, look, man, everybody relax. You need a friend like that.
Yeah. I see. I definitely see where you're coming from. Like, I'm trying to get to that point where I could be that calming voice. I'm not there yet. I still need to.
No, but we
I
like
still need.
for we need you, though. You know what I'm saying? We need, especially us, black
Yeah.
people, we need you.
Yeah.
Like even when I say like I look at like I said, I love all dog. I'm allowed to say I don't care what Kamala Harris. I like Kamala Harris. I like Cory Booker. I like Ben Carter. I like Candace Owens. I like
Let's talk
everybody.
about Kamala.
Uh,
Like Kamala, for instance,
she's
right?
Jamaican. So she is
Right. She's
Jamaican.
Jamaican.
So I'm
Right.
inner yardie in me wants to root for anybody that's Jamaican off top. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you're
Yeah.
Jamaican and I'm Jamaican and I know you're super bright because you have to be bright to be like what she's like one of the only black female, I guess what, like
Prosecutors or something like that.
prosecutors, and I know that
Senator. Yeah.
about her prosecution career, how she locked a whole heap of us up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And even Joe Biden with the crime bill,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all of these type of narratives that are flying around, even in the Republican, things about Trump. Everybody is just emptying everyone's dirty laundry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Trump, they're emptying the Trump's laundry. He's emptying their laundry. We don't even know what's good or bad anymore, who anybody is at the core of anything anymore. We're just stripped of like facts because we're so concentrated on like,
Agendas.
yeah, agendas. We're in an agenda world. Like, my boy was talking about the crime bill, and I said, have we ever read that? Have you ever read that?
Mm.
None of us have read it, but the narrative of that, because of the cycle, is stuck in our mind that thing was the worst thing that has ever happened to the black community. And I'm like, really?
Uh.
Really though? Have you read it? Because I haven't read it, to keep it real, but I wanted to skim through it. But
Okay.
then it's like we in a country where niggas and nobody reads. So you're going off of what you see on Twitter that Joe
Yeah.
Biden the crime bill, Joe Biden the crime bill, Joe Biden the crime bill. Have you read the crime bill?
Yeah.
Think nobody who's talking about it has read it or understands the
Yeah.
legislation of it at all. Like
Even if they read it, they wouldn't
they
understand it.
wouldn't understand. We didn't even learn how to. The Constitution was written. We weren't even in the room. We don't even. We're living in a place where we've never been included. Whether it's you're so concerned about being in the crime bill. We're not even in the Constitution, dog. You know what I'm saying? You haven't even read the amendments of where we live and nothing like that. But we're so concentrated like on these narratives instead of the actual truth. That's what I like.
Mm.
That's what I want to get to. Like I'm always like, what is the raw truth? And I don't think we'll ever get it out of any politicians that come into office because the being the president isn't about telling the truth.
It's not.
About
Absolutely not.
yeah, it's like I mean,
Mhm.
imagine if they did tell us the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I look into local government. I look into people like Hotep who have had just talk about things how he feels off his chest. I look at like I like Killer Mike. I like people
Yeah.
like Mike, about the Second Amendment and how black men should be armed legally. You know what I'm saying? I look at things that are like I said, I posted a James Baldwin clip on my Instagram yesterday, and when I posted it, I said, don't be afraid to take small steps. Because when we talk about doing great things, like now, we talking like we gotta like take the regime and bring it to a bro. It's not for y'all niggas ain't even taking your kids to school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to talk about things we can do in a small way around us to like affect the bigger picture, and that's why I like having these conversations, because I don't like having them in front of everybody. Because
Mm,
everybody don't need to know our business about like that. Like, everybody be all up in black people business about everything. And white people have grand opinions on our lifestyles. I'm like, bro, just listen to the CD. I don't care about what you think about. I don't want to hear white people banter on what black people need to do,
yeah.
unless you're going to contribute to it in a major way.
Right.
Yeah, unless you're going
Right.
to give Hotep some bread and then you're going to give us some shit and you're going to contribute economically to what we got going on. I don't
Right.
want to hear what the hell you got to say about my people. Like,
Yeah.
a whole nother continent of people who need help. It's a worldly view too. You can have an American view, and if you look on a world view, it's even the black world view is even more of a conversation than only just our opinion in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I just,
And that's another thing, we're brothers that have the island in us, right? And
exactly.
I've been to the island plenty of times. I just came back from the island early this year. And this is one of my problems with black Americans is, we complain a lot. And I'm like, y'all need to take a ride down halfway tree Kingston and then spend a week there and then come back. It's
And
different.
and see how fucked up shit. My girl's Haitian, and I talk a lot about Dutty Bookman. The Jamaican. He was a slave from Jamaica, from the island. He went to Haiti and fought for the revolution in 1804. I'm
Okay.
like, we come from a place like the island point of view is a little more worldly to that. I'll talk about this with you. I wouldn't talk about everybody. Like Doja Cat is a big friend of mine. I
Okay.
did a song with her, Make That Cake, that came out a couple months ago. And, she went through her whole thing on Twitter about, her comments and so called dancing for white supremacists and this whole, it was a
Yeah.
zoo. And I was online defending her, and a lot of people, were getting at me about it. And like, and the reason is because like how I defended Wayne, I'm saying I know these people personally. It's different.
Right.
I know their intentions. I know their hearts. I know I've hung around her. I posted a clip of us performing like black man standing next to Doja Cat performing their person. Like, I was kind of playing with, and I'm not, and I love my people. I'm not going against them. I'm saying like we demonize us. We every black view is a world view. Being an island person, I never was really built to be inferior. I'm not scared of white people. That's why now that I know you're like that, I understand your platform and the things you talk about. You're a free man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you weren't grown up inferior. There's something about the connection to the master. I don't have it. You know what I'm
Uh-uh.
saying? Like, no, like, I know how to use chopsticks and I know how to use every fork around me when I go to the dinner table because my parents were like, boy, but to pick up the thing on, use it on, I have a different view. And a lot of my black American homies being that I'm in Miami, a lot of Haitians, they'll be like, man, why is my boy, who's in here, J Mike, he said to me, like, man, when I was living in Baltimore, a lot of the Jamaican guys would come out the house and yell at the police. And to some of my friends, they couldn't believe it. Like how is he talking? A lot of us are scared when the police run up. I
Yeah.
don't like police. We have that thing too, but I'm not scared to talk to no cop. I can articulate. I'm not emotional. I'm not I can go, yo, man, that ain't right. And a lot
Yeah.
of the Jamaicans will be like, yo, come off the kid and yell at him on the block. And they'll be so surprised. Like the Jamaicans are so not in fear, or the Haitians, because that's what goes back to us here. We need a sense of pride. We need to know where we come from. Marcus Garvey, Africans are for Africans here and abroad. You need to know who you are, bro, so you can have that sense. So when them people come to you with the foolishness, you could go, nah. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
those,
my father tells his story. He was in the military and he was training in England. This is back in the 60s. And he goes into the mess hall and basically what he said was his chief master, whoever, said, if there's any problem, in the mess hall with your food, just let me know or go tell them and they'll fix it for you. So my father goes, he sits down, it's a table full of Africans. And he's like, oh shit, like this shit don't taste right. So he asked everybody, I was like, what's up? Like, y'all food don't taste right. They like, yeah, it don't taste right. He like, I'm about to go fix my shit. They like, nah, don't go say nothing. Don't go say nothing. He like, what are you talking about? I'm about to go say something.
Of
So he
course.
get up, he say something, and they all looking like scared. But he went, he got his food fixed, and they and went back and sat down, and everybody looking at him strange, like how you. But Jamaicans is a little bit different. They weren't indoctrinated like you said with that whole.
With the understanding, that's why I try to talk to my friends that aren't, because at the end of the day, like, Mark, Africans are Africans here and abroad. We are all black at the end of the day. I tell my Jamaican friends that I'm like, bro, we can't act better because they look just like us. Even though we have a different upbringing, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that we not black. We black, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm American. I was born in America. I'm a Jamaican, If
Yeah.
anything, I just had different, my food was different in the crib and shit like that. But at the same time, like me being American, I feel these things when they happen. It's injustice. It happens in Jamaica too. It happens around the world. But I mean,
Absolutely.
it still hits me like how it would hit a homie whose family dates back to 6 generations of Georgia or Mississippi or Louisiana. It still hurts me. Like I still feel like the pain with everybody. I just try to explain too, like we have to have a broader view, which I said with the Doja thing, which people wouldn't understand her being African and being Jewish. She has a different,
The mentality on all of this.
it's like a different, it's a, even like Louis C.K. was a fucked up sense of humor. It's like me, I could watch Louis C.K. and be insulted, and of course he's out of here with it, what happened to him, but I can watch his stand up and I can watch Dave Chappelle's stand up and I can take from both of these weird perspectives and not feel insulted, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like Tyler the Creator is a different kind of black kid,
Yeah, it is.
all type of different shit that I've been like, yo, this I can't. But that he has probably from the music he listens to, from the things he has a broader perspective on black for him. Should we demonize him? Should we say, should we throw him away? Should we throw everybody away black that doesn't think like us traditionals?
Right.
We can't do it. We need everybody at this point. We need
Yeah.
Doja. We need Tyler. We need Ye. We need you. We need me. We need David Banner. We need we need like everybody's perspective on a whole so we can kind of figure out the fabric of this shit without being always so damn confused. Because I'm just sick of being confused. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
confusion leads to not getting anything done.
Uh-huh.
Like right now, people are revolting and looting and whatnot. And instead of us formulating and talking about the injustice, not even saying us, but people are worried about Little Wayne.
Yeah.
People are,
Yeah, that's another thing that bothers me sometimes with this stuff. Like you said, it started out with, what happened to George Floyd, and then it drifts to looters. And then from looters it's now Lil Wayne's a bad guy. So it's like Lil Wayne didn't kill George Floyd.
yeah, he did. But you see how our narratives we
So
get so
easy.
distracted. We get like I seen Jamie Foxx, which was amazing. He went down there, Steven Jackson, the basketball player.
Yeah.
He was real close to George, and he called him his twin. I don't know if they was brothers, but I seen Jamie go down there and talk, and I was like, we got a responsibility. Like we have the responsibility to stick to the exact narrative.
Hmm.
Let's solve this problem before we float to Wayne, before we float to why people are looting, before we float to all police are good people. My
Before we float to Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus, we go to Hotep and we want to get mad at Hotep. Lunch want to get mad at Hotep. That's why I'm glad you hit me. Because in that moment, I called out my brother, and I needed to come down here and say, nah, this is my dude. We got to talk about this. Like, before we float all these narratives, let's
Yeah.
stick to what it is so we can actually solve that issue and like
Right.
really make sure that your kids growing up and my kids when they come into the world, we can have better discussions. Not discussions of why are they burning down, and it's not that look, I completely feel the frustration and I agree in
Can
certain.
we talk about the burning down? Because I don't think you see, I think black people might be kleptomaniacs, but we ain't
No,
pyromaniacs.
we're not pyrotech. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we lit that.
I don't think we lit that.
Nobody can light a fire like that.
Niggas don't know how to light no
Don't
fire.
light fires.
Only thing we light on fire is a blunt.
It's a blunt, a backwood. We
Oh,
can't. I mean, that fire. When I look at the picture, the design of the fire was like
yeah,
one of like a Michael Bay movie fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, brother, this is like this sketchy a little bit. And then I
it,
saw the police officer who they caught who was looting with the people. There's a lot of innuendo, there's a lot of sketchy shit going on. And to
yeah.
me, that's a good point you say, because that fire looked a little
It was
It was
professional.
professional. It was a pyro. Like,
So I listen. I've been in Boy Scouts. I was in Boy Scouts. It was just me and the white boys.
yeah,
White folks know how to light a fire. That's one thing they do is they go camping. They know how to set a fire.
yeah,
Okay, they taught me how to light a fire with practically nothing.
yeah.
That's what they do. When I saw the fire in that corner, I was like, niggas ain't do that.
No, there ain't no niggas lighting no fire like that. We can't even light. We barely can light a blunt at times if the lighter ain't working. Let alone to like, and if you ain't got another lighter, we got to go to the store. Ain't nobody rubbing no two rocks together and trying to figure out how to light. I mean, that fire was done. I think we've been angry like that, but we're not that angry of that level of preciseness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, we're not that
Yeah,
precise.
even with the looting, it's like it's I've never seen so many people defend Target. I like Target too, but at the same time, I mean, I saw actually when I logged into your talk earlier with the brother you was talking to,
Shakel.
Shaquel, and he was talking about people aren't looting in mom and pop stores. He mentioned,
Right.
and I mentioned that actually in one of my conversations. I said, I don't see them burning down this or being or looting per se. I hate that word, but looting, quote unquote, the
Yeah.
stores that are near and dear to the community. I
Right.
saw a big court actually going down, which I'm like, secretly, I'm not that upset about. You know what I'm saying?
That's covered by
Yeah,
insurance.
that's covered. They're going to get the insurance claims off of that anyway. So I don't know why we're being Target advocates right now. I like Target too. I shop at Target. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
And
not.
them same white conservatives will say, "Oh, Amazon's taking over, Walmart's taking over, these corporations, da 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 da." And then, soon as the corporations is getting they just due, you're not siding with American citizens.
No, no,
They're
no.
looters.
They're looting. Why are they going to destroy that? We need jobs. I'm like, now y'all care about jobs? You was mad at Steve. You was mad at Jeff Bezos a week ago for taking all the jobs in the tech and the. It's like that's what I'm saying. You're mad at Kaepernick for taking a knee.
Yeah,
Now you're mad at people looting. What do you want from us?
yeah,
What do you want? What can we do? Tell me what to do, white America. Do you want us to be mad, sad? Do you want us to still show it at your doorstep? Should we go knock on the White House front door and ask for laws and legislation to be rewritten? Because that's at the end of the day the core to this. That's why it's economic. We need laws and legislation in place to secure the safety and hold the police accountable. Or it's going to be continued. If one person, like you said, gets away with it, it's going to echo to other police officers that they can get away with it too. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So it's like you have to make an example. Like how you make an example out of us, make an example of one officer, one guy, even though you arresting him and giving him third degree murder is like a band-aid. I mean, we knew he was going to get arrested, even though you hit him for like a whole day, but I was waiting for the arrest. I was waiting for the backtrack black story of who George really is and all of this type of shit. They dig that up.
hmm
The nigga stole a crayon in the first grade, you know. We know he a criminal, when we get hurt, we gotta like Trayvon was from my city, and to be known, white America, but black kids aren't perfect like your kids ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So of course we might have gotten a fight in eighth grade like a normal kid, or had a friend that actually did some crime. We're not the only people in America who have. I mean, you got a couple friends, probably Mr. White, who's had a couple Ponzi schemes, and we are all normal people. But it feels like when we get hurt, people dig up our past for some reason on some crazy shit, like that brother wasn't the person you thought he was. George Zimmerman and all these dudes, they was on to something. They was really.
One thing I caught them with, they said, Ahmaud Arbery, he said, "Oh, he went to a high school. He brought a gun to the high school game." I said, "Wait, aren't you pro 2A?
Yeah, aren't you pretty?
Aren't you? I thought we're supposed to be armed."
Aren't you Mr. Bear Arms? Oh no, but they're gonna hit you with, but legally though. And I'm
Yeah, but
like, I don't know.
that's not what the founding fathers said.
That's exactly, and that's not what Florida law says. I can have a gun without a license here, as long as I keep it in the trunk. And there's a 3-step rule. If you want to get technical, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't even mean anything to what happened. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But that's what we constantly, I was waiting for, oh, George was this, but there's not a lot of bad information on him because he was really a good guy.
Yeah, he was
I mean,
outstanding.
and Trayvon and those guys. I mean, when you kill somebody that young, you don't even give him a chance to be a good guy. So you can't even talk about what you gonna talk about his record from when he was 12 to 16.
Right.
12 to 17. These dudes ain't even lived to PC 30 to
Right.
make up for their mistakes that me and you have probably made, and then be able to sit back and be like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. We
Yeah.
don't. That's the problem with jail. We don't get a chance to make mistakes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I tell a lot of
I got lucky. I got lucky. I'm not a street dude, but I dabbled in it.
yeah.
And I got lucky because the streets got to me before the police got to me. And I'm thankful for that,
I'm happy. And I'm not happy, but I'm glad you.
yeah, it came to the point where when I found myself saying I need to go get a gun illegally
Mhm.
and go get retribution, that's when I was like, damn, my life kind of taking a little twist
Yeah,
here.
taking a turn, taking a drastic turn. But
Yes.
all of us go like me, man. I come from my dad. Was in the band Inner Circle. They did Sweat and Bad Boys. They were in Jacob Miller. I come from a very legacy family in reggae music.
Okay.
A lot of black business. My dad and my uncle opened a studio in Miami. So I come from like seeing. I tell all my homies like the problem with some of us is that we, like we said, we think too big. It starts right at the home. I think my life
Yes.
always took a good turn because I had influence that was around me. I saw Denzel Washington say the system don't grab you at 10 years old. The people that get fucked up is when we get to like that weird puberty state of masculinity and you
Yeah.
outside a lot. The dudes with the fathers knew to be like, man, you better get in your house. Like there was they even if they weren't completely successful in life, they got a job, they kept their record clean, they were able to get a legal weapon, they were legal
Yeah.
just to do things. And then my homies that was outside and didn't have the opportunities I had, which I call the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones. I'm black, but I'm a lucky one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like we're lucky, they didn't have that opportunity. They had to, the typical story. They didn't have really no male influences, and the male influences before them weren't very versed on what they should do either. So
Right.
it's like this constant like trend. But with me, I had a dad, and I understand he was my dad was a great father, but black man, we still got, we got family. It's not perfect, but just
Right.
looking at him every day or looking at my uncle or my big brother made me know that there's other ways to actually come up in life besides these dire straits and all of that. So I think like that is a bigger conversation that we don't have enough like economically. Like we would build economically if we had. That's why they tear our families apart. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Right.
know that man in the crib is a big deal. And then they make
Hmm.
our baby mamas put us on child. It's just this whole thing we always got to go through, and it's the
Yeah.
same old thing. And I'll be so tired of that conversation. I'll be like, bro, and then what you said in the tape of Wayne, I liked it because you were like about accountability. Like
Mm.
holding ourselves accountable. And I'm all for that because we do need accountability. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, I just want to talk about it with just us though about our accountability.
Yeah.
I don't want to discuss it in front of anybody who's not going to,
Black.
yeah, black. That's going to
Yeah.
help the accountability because then they're just going to be looking at us like, yeah, you should do that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good idea. And I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, bro, I don't want to hear your opinion. This ain't for you. This black people been, this black folk. Remember when Chris Tucker, it's black folk problems.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened with the black conservative, and I'm gonna read some super chats after this. The black conservative was, we had our little spat, and then some white dudes popped in and was like, "Hey, you should have this other white dude host it." And that's not, somebody put the I was like, "Nah, we good. This is just between us." And somebody put the Dr. Umar meme in there. This is for African people
Yeah,
only.
this is
Yeah,
us. This is black folk arguments. We can say, well, look, when your mama say keep your house business in your house. What
yeah,
happens in your look? I can yell and be mad at Hotep all I can, all I want. I could be disagree with them. I could be like, what the hell is going on? But if I walk into a room full of white people and they got an extreme opinion about your conversation, the inner nigga kicks in you and be like, look, man, give the brother a break. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because we argue. I saw online they had a picture of the flame of the building and somebody wrote a Tupac quote like, "We may fight always, but when we get together, we'll burn some shit up."
right,
And that shows the strength of us when we are upset together. It's like
yeah,
shit changes, even in hip hop, even in our business. Like when we start uniting on a business front, independent conversations, we turn into Hoves and Kanye's and Dame Dashes and Puffs and people of those nature who I hold a lot of responsibility to in times like this because
mm,
we need the rappers. And I'm not only saying them, hip hop is a big, hip hop raised the dudes with no fathers.
mm,
Like when people are judging the dudes about putting the money phones to their ears, it's like
yeah,
y'all been telling us to fuck bitches get money for 20 years. What do you
yeah,
think these 17-year-old? That's an echo of you. You
right.
can't don't try to tell me I shouldn't do it when you're 50 now and you figured out about how life works. So we need all the older MCs too to be like, and artists to mentor the young dudes and be like, bro, this is what you really need to do. Not like on them,
Right, right, right.
because hip hop, we don't talk about how hip hop is big in our influence in our culture. It's the biggest
It
voice.
is. It's
That's why we've been
biggest.
talking about Wayne, because he's
Right.
bigger than Donald Trump.
He's bigger than Donald Trump.
He has a bigger voice than Donald Trump to echo directly to us.
Yeah, I see niggas slandering Wayne. I'm like, hold up, now that's
Oh,
my
wow.
president.
Like, yo, that's my man. You got up like, yo, hold on, and I joined in with you in a weird way, joined in with you, but then started a dialogue with you. And that
Yeah,
our dialogue came from that. So that
yeah.
shows you the power
Or hip hop.
of hip hop. We raised the unfathered ones. You know what I'm saying? When we was in the room and they have no pops, you was listening to Jada, you was listening to, Scarface. These people raised your narrative to Jeezy and all these. They told you what to do. You know what I'm saying? So now
Yeah.
when they a little older, I see some of the artists even I work with, and this ain't no slander. It's just the truth. Like we get morals and shit. Like now that we're older, we're like, man, you shouldn't be doing that, brother. Like, that stuff isn't good. But I'm like, bro, you've been rapping about that shit for like 15, 20 years. Like, what you think these dudes gonna wake up now and just decide to be like enlightened? You know what I'm saying? That's why I rock with Ye, because Ye has been like that from the root. He said Jesus walks. He talked about political commentary on his first album. I've been working this grave shit. It's okay to get a job. You don't gotta sell dope. Get a job. He been on that path. So when he rants, I give him a little area because I'm like, yeah, you've been this from the root.
Yeah.
You weren't on the in the beginning, and then now you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'll let that slide and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Let me read super chat real quick. Kristen, thank you. Kristen always supports. I appreciate you. I think trend for a day, die for a lifetime. Great quote. Thank you, Eric. Tom the mailman. Appreciate the talk about nations, bloodlines. If we thought more that way, we would be harder to manipulate. Black versus white might cease to exist. Absolutely.
Powerful.
Hotep Rel, appreciate you. He said the left was pushing too many far left agenda. America needed Trump as much as we think we didn't need him. Black conservative uprising is the word. Mm. Hmm. The
Interesting.
left was pushing too many far left agenda. I do agree with that. Let's just say I
Obama
think we were
wasn't,
too left.
yeah, Obama wasn't a high level progressive. He wasn't super left.
Right.
He was kind of, and honestly, Joe Biden isn't very super. Those guys are like moderate Democrats. They're not hyper left, which you
Yeah,
would
I mean, if you look at their views back in the day, it was definitely
very different. Look at
today they'd be called conservative.
Donald Trump's views back in the day; they were very different.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 70-year-old men here. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're not going to think the same way when you're 20, 30, and 40. Then it's like, these dudes have been around a long time, and a lot of their views, a lot of them are their views to me across the board are very inconsistent to who they are now, which is kind of funny to me. But
Yeah. Squizzy the Genius, thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate you. He said, please speak to how we unite the community when we play flip flop politics, vote blind black, but hide our conservative values. I think there's a lot we can extrapolate from that, right? So first of all, he says, how can we unite the community? First of all, I don't believe in this thing that black people aren't united. I think we are united.
very much so,
That thing about us having lacking unity, just because y'all see us arguing online, don't mean we not united. Um,
because we argue in front of people,
yeah,
which
we do that a lot. We do that in the hood. We do that with family.
which makes
That's
people form their own opinions on our culture. That
exactly.
that's why he thinks that.
Mm,
Because he
mm,
sees us argue in front of people. So when
mm,
you argue and when we tear each other down in front of each other, it gives an opinion that we're not united. We don't rock with each other. We like at me and Hotep ain't cool.
yeah,
It starts the age old hood argument of we the ops and everybody isn't cool and this person doesn't like. No, that's not true.
yeah,
Disagreements doesn't mean I don't like you. It's
right,
just that black folk, we have a tendency to argue in front of the whole world.
right, right.
Hence his agree on why how can we unify? We are
Yeah,
unified. What are you talking about?
yeah,
I mean, not to knock him, but I feel where he's coming from. But I agree. I'm saying I agree with you. I'm like we are. There's tons of there's not a lot of good black news. The news doesn't tell us about the good things that we are doing out here. That's not.
yeah.
I said that yesterday with my boys. I was like, bro, when's the last time you saw a news feed about like a you see But it goes back to the Chris Rock. It goes back to when we your cousin that graduates from Harvard, he get a big pat on the back. That's my nerd cousin. He doing good. This nigga smart. Give him a plate of food. But then your homie, your cousin who get out from 10, 12 years, the whole block come outside and throw balloons in the air and give him he gets lifted off the ground. We feeling this cut because we feel like he overcame something when we need to just celebrate some of the dudes that do other shit. Yeah, just
Yeah.
think about the dude who owns shit that doesn't, do the things that in culture that we consider important. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that's why, I said Wayne and Hove, these people have more power than Byron Allen,
Yeah.
who's like a dude who owns the Weather Channel,
Yeah.
you
A
know,
billionaire.
a billionaire. But his voice really to us is really
And
he
even when he speak up, we don't want to hear him.
yeah, that's why Kanye's voice is so loud
Hmm.
because he doesn't understand. Ye knows how loud his voice is because he played into our quote unquote culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but like Byron Allen to say something would be like, all right, cool. Half the niggas, who are you, first of all, brother? Did you drop an album or something? What team did you play for? You know what I'm saying? Like niggas don't know who you are, brother. Even though you own the Weather Channel, man.
Yeah, you got a resume like a
You got a
motherfucker.
resume like a motherfucker. You know how to go get money out them people and all of that. We probably could learn a thing or two from you. But I want to be on Rock Nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that thing. We need to celebrate people who don't do the normal shit.
What about the latter half of this guy's statement where he says, voting blind black but hide our conservative values?
Um, but I will give him the credit. There has been an uprise of like the black conservative. In the
Hmm.
last couple of years of like people having alternative views on the Democratic Party, which is like the big, you know, some
Talking point.
publish the talking point, which is also scary though, because it's like, they made it. I feel like Candace Owens, she's not a dumb girl. I'm not gonna
Absolutely
doubt
not.
she's not a non-intelligent person, but
She
she
brilliant.
panders a lot, and she
Hmm.
panders and banters for one thing so much that it makes it corny. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes it like, what is another thing? It's like, what is your real agenda? Do you really want to show black people that they can have an alternate opinion, or are you trying to? What is it makes me not trust it, but I don't down her. I never go on Twitter because she's still black.
Right.
That goes against what I believe in of going against people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'll be looking at her like, other side, I don't know. I look at AOC and I'm like, and I'm like, I don't know what to think of these people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I go back in my hole of like, just keep your own opinion. Much like vote with your heart. You know,
Yeah,
vote,
yeah.
vote for because realistically, I don't think anybody's done enough. Trump always talks about he helped black unemployment, and Obama created 15 million or something like that jobs, or 11 million jobs, and he started the prison reform. My boy's dad went to jail for 22 years and got pardoned by Obama.
Mm.
So that conversation about the prison reform is debunked to me as far as like Obama was doing it first, and
Hmm.
Trump came along and passed the First Step Act. They weren't gonna let no brother pass the First Step Act. That's like impossible. You ain't gonna let no brother like officially pass the first. It didn't even exist. Like what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
I'm not mad at like those progressions that I guess Trump did, because if you hype him up enough, he might do something for you. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, I don't honestly, man. On the voting side, like I was for Andrew Yang, and after Yang, he fell out of the race. I was a little, I don't know what to do. I can
yeah.
be honest and say that I don't know who to vote for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's like the things that I care about aren't very really spoke about, and then it's like I care about my people so much. It's like I'm scared to have a loud opinion about who I should. And what if I lead everybody into the fucking, what I'm saying? Like,
burn their house. Yeah,
burn in hell, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna like you do. What I could say is like vote for yourself.
yeah,
Vote for your family, vote for the things around you, vote locally too. Like care about things, like care about shit. I'm not the guy to talk to when it comes to who you should vote for. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I was gonna vote for Andrew Yang because I felt, I'm big in tech. I think tech, I like, I'm not scared of the AI conversations. I think we should attack the future. I don't want to be
absolutely.
behind it.
Right.
I want to be ahead of it. And if somebody's talking about those type of things, I'm like, all right, let's have that conversation. because I don't want to be left behind when it ain't black white, it's human something else. That thing really sparked my mind. So I'm a thinker. I like to think, and if you're talking about age old conversations about race, you're gonna tune out. When it comes from me voting. But when he got up and said, "Yo, we're losing jobs to AI, and we need to talk about universal basic income and things," that I was like, hmm. All right, Mr. Andrew Yang, let's have a conversation. I like math too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's why I was that. But when, he fell out, I kind of was like, I don't know what to do now. I got to listen to Hotep. I'm going to go with my man Hotep saying he might have the answers for me of who I need to vote for, because I'm like, I'm not
well,
going, I don't want to get behind no man like that, honestly, man.
well. Here's my thing. When he says like we're hiding conservative values, I don't think we're hiding our conservative values. And here's another thing we got to think about. Um, the- Brother Jamal, 22 years old, that's on the block. He not really thinking about the federal election.
Not,
He probably is not going to go and register to vote, right? So when people talk about black voters, really what you're talking about is um, the elderly black women class, the boomers,
yeah.
right? It's these are the people that have registered to vote, have devoted time. They actually have the time because a lot of them are retired. They have time to go to the town hall meetings, so on and so forth. They might be working the voting stations a lot of times.
Yep.
You go in there, you're gonna see an older black woman and
Yeah.
they're working the
At the
station.
ballots and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's your demographic
Facts.
of voters that are voting that way. Um, and the rhetoric that a lot of black conservatives spew, and they're like, why aren't black people voting? I'm like, first of all, you're talking to people who don't vote. If you talk to the people who vote, you'll find that that's Sister Agnes.
Yeah, that's Sister Ad. That's that church lady with the big hat.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's who you need to get through. And the way you talking online, she ain't showing up for you.
Nah, she ain't gonna listen to you. You cursing
And
and all that.
yeah, so I don't think people understand what the black vote means.
Yeah,
The
but
black
even
vote
even the white vote for the most part is
is older.
is older. So it's
Yes.
really a battle of the, what do you say, 40s,
Yep.
50-year-old family, 60-year-old, and
Yeah.
their America is a whole nother conversation to like our America. Like,
Right.
if half of us can't even talk about the views we talk about right now with our parents, they gonna
That's
be
true.
like, "What are you talking about? You talking about all of this foolishness and all of this propaganda? Like, I don't even know what none of this mean." And switch right back on to like to MSNBC or CNN or Fox News. These are people who are working class people. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you explain to them about what Obama did to Gaddafi and what Bush did to this and what
They
Trump,
don't want to hear that.
they're like, what the hell are you talking, man? You hurting my
They-
ears with all of this shit.
don't talk bad about Obama
I'm
now.
mad about Obama. Now I don't know what you're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they
I
don't.
don't care.
I
I
don't
don't
care.
care.
That's a black man, and I'm halfway. I feel them. They're actually
I
correct.
do.
They come from an honest point of view and knowing what America really.
But you gotta think about what those people saw and went through.
Yeah. Well, my
You're talking about, yeah, what my mother saw.
yeah.
My mother was raised during a time of desegregation, Brown versus the Board of Education. She was alive then. My aunties was having sit-ins in New Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey High School. So for them to see a black man in the White House is like Jesus coming out the clouds.
Yeah, that's like, yo, that's like Jesus Christo. That's Jesus. Like,
It,
literally.
Yeah, so I never wanted to. When I was younger, I used to argue with my mom, Obama ain't really all that. But then I got old and I realized, why would you take that dream away from her? Because they went through so much. You need to let them have that.
Yeah, we needed that. And us as younger who are more educated to certain things about now, we're gonna have our opinions, but like, yeah, my pops, we like, some of them will be like, why do y'all all still talk about these racial, like my white friends will be like, it was such a long time ago. I'm like, was it really? Like, my dad experienced those things.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
my mother, my dad is a black musician. My uncle is a black musician. They remember the times of being a black musician in the 60s and the 70s and they experience a different time. So I always be like, us, like our generation isn't too detached from those ideals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one generation out of that type of shit. That super racial muster about things that go on. If you talk to older black folk about racial issues, they go off
Mm,
because it triggers something with them. You know what I'm saying? Like Kim
mm.
Yan, I think her name was Kim Handy. She was at when they were having their protests and everything yesterday. I think her son was killed in 2017 in Minneapolis. And she said something like, she was like, uh, it was the most profound thing I heard out of everyone there. She was like, you can rebuild buildings, but you can't rebuild our lives. And I was like, that took an old black lady to hit you with the gospel in the midst
It's
of
true.
chaos, things are burning, and she's on like some podcast and she goes, we can rebuild Target. We can rebuild, but you can't rebuild my life. You can't give me my son back.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when I saw that, I was like, wow, like that narrative plays more important to what is actually, why Obama means so much and why, these things should be kind of celebrated. I get it. We have a little more information on the bullshit. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, let's not tear down the whole, thing about that. But to go back to him saying about conservative, but look, man, brother, I don't know who you are or anything, but don't look at me to see who you should vote for, because I myself am trying to figure out in honesty who I should support in the future. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Ho-
I don't know.
Hotep Jesus says don't vote.
I'm actually I've said, bro, honestly, on everything I said that I wasn't voting this year, and I've been saying that for the last 2 months, and my family's yelled at me, friends have yelled at me and said that I'm not. I earned the right. People fought for you to vote, and they fought for me not to. Also,
Yeah.
what is the point of making a decision that I don't understand? Why do we constantly do that?
Mm.
Why don't we
Well,
not?
well,
Why?
here's what we must understand about voting.
Yeah.
This is something that gets lost in this conversation. We died for this thing, right? Okay. We didn't die to vote in a federal election.
Mm-hmm.
We died and fought to vote in local, city, and state elections.
Agreed.
To vote on the people who actually make decisions on our immediate
Yeah.
lives,
Yeah.
like in New Jersey, where they want to where they want to get rid of religious exemptions on vaccines. This is something that black women are fighting against right now in New Jersey. This is a matter that's pressing from our state senators.
Wow. That's deep too.
You know what I mean? This is our state senators. So while you're so worried about the White House, they're about to force vaccinations, and these vaccinations are disproportionately causing autoimmune diseases among black boys at 3 times the rate as anybody else.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, you want to vote? What about are you voting locally? Are you at the town hall locally? Are you organizing locally? Do you
Yeah.
know who your senator is, your governor,
Yep.
your mayor? Do
Yep.
you know these people are? If you don't know these people are, I don't know if I want to talk to you.
Yeah. I don't want to, because even when we see when Trump got down to, it's funny how coronavirus is, we forgetting about that right now. We're not even speaking. I don't know if that's like a hot topic at the moment. It was about 3 days ago, but
Yeah, right.
yeah, it was like everything we spoke about. And me living in a state in Florida, I'm in Miami, which is blue, but the state is red, so it's like we're open and things of that nature. But they were saying they damn, I lost train of thought. But they all no, Trump was saying that in a grand scheme, he was thinking he could open the whole country. We had that narrative,
Right.
and then it went from he can open the whole country to him going, it's about the governors.
Yeah,
It's
they
up
had to correct him.
it's up to the state. So to
Yes,
tell you how important
and that's who our ancestors was fighting against. The state,
the state. It wasn't the
Georgia,
yeah,
South Carolina,
facts.
North Carolina, Virginia.
Yeah,
These are who we had our beefs with.
yeah,
And the federal government came in and said, "Hey, you can't stop these people from voting."
yeah.
And then we've fast forward, and we're not even involved in our local politics like we wanted to be back in the 60s,
We're
50s, and
all
70s.
yeah, we're rallying for things that are completely untapped. That's why I
Right.
said I swear it's funny you said that. I keep telling everybody that I'm not voting, and I don't know if that's something that I'm looked or shunned upon for, but it's like I in my real life don't make a decision when I don't know what it is. So I
Mm.
don't understand. I voted in the governor of Florida race, which I don't want to speak because I got let down a lot about. a brother who took a turn for the worst.
Uh, Gillum.
Yeah, this one hurt my spirit, man. Because I don't know what happened with him. I don't know if it was set, but it was the reason I rallied behind him is because he was from Miami. He's a born and raised Florida, like from down south, Homestead, Kendall area,
Okay.
and it took a turn for the absolute worst. And
Yeah,
that's
dude.
why I will admit sometimes voting because a brother is a brother can take a bad turn on you.
Yeah,
I will
okay.
say that. I supported him because he was a brother and he was a, and I'm not saying I only support people because they're black, but sometimes I do.
Yeah.
You know, and it took a turn for the worse. But I've been always, I've been paying attention to what goes on around me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like those decisions, like you said, are more important sometimes than the grand decision of what like the president of every state in the country is doing. Especially we're only 13% of the population. We're such a small percentage. I read like, Dr.
Yeah.
Claude, I read some of his books on the powernomics and, things are like, and he was just saying how we like a 1/2 of 1% of the wealth.
Mm.
I said, man, if I owned a business and you had one half of 1% of the business, would I care about your opinion? You know, you would come and get your pennies and I'll be like, he'll be like, you be in the boardroom like, I have an opinion. I don't want to hear from you. You don't even own enough of the economic of what's going on in here for me to even
You don't have enough voting shares.
have enough voting shares to like shift anything. You know what I'm saying? We're 13. Why don't we take our 13%? Like my boy Scotch had a really good stance on that. We always talk about it. Like, why don't we just not buy certain things? Why don't
Yeah.
we rally together and like hit people in their pockets so we
That's my thing. Y'all be like, yo, y'all get online all day talking how white people bad. But the first thing we do is go to Louis Vuitton Moet and send our money to
spend our
Europeans.
money. We buy bottles in the club and we throw on designer clothes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I've been a victim of it. I'm not gonna sit there and act like I've never bought a pair of like anything I like. I like,
Right.
but as I got older, I realized we are so misplaced in what we put value in. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Mm.
we got to understand, like, what if we didn't buy from these people, or what if we? And it gets weird with black folk because when we do stuff like that, people say, I've heard white people say to me, like, that's racist, and I'm like, black people can be prejudiced. We can't be racist because we don't own enough of the economy and economically to suppress any other race. Like the most I could probably do to you is tell you get off the basketball court or you can't rap. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop you in the corporate world from climbing the corporate ladder of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can't systematically oppress white people. You know what I'm saying? I can culturally tell you like, yo, your rhymes is whacking you like you can't really like you're not nice on the court like that, or primarily places where more white people are doing black things very well. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. And we accept them to the barbecue, you know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. But I can't really oppress white. I don't know how. What am I gonna do? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So when white people call me racist, my wife is like, bro, Lunch, that's racist. I'm like, brother, I can have jokes for you right now, but in the grand scheme of life, I can't do anything to you.
Didn't Chris Rock have a joke about that? He's like, you can't even like piss white people off, like what did he say? He said something like, like you call a black person nigga, we just be it ruin our life all day. You say something to a white person, they're like, oh, they must be having a bad day.
Yeah,
La la la.
yeah, there was something must be wrong with him.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, we can be prejudiced though. We
Yeah.
can have certain ideals about people and stuff like that when I'm not. And I do appreciate my friends that are from other races of mine because I'm not ignorant to the fact that shit, we do need each other in certain steps. We need white people to start getting on our side and marching and saying something, you know what I'm saying? Because the silence is betrayal at this moment because we can't, it proves in history we can't do it alone. We need somebody to, we need a little couple people to just be like, hey man, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all gotta because they, we know who moves the needle at this point. You know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate the conversation because I believe in dialogue and then I believe in us not arguing in front of the world. Like I'm so big. I made a stance to myself I've always had it, but I've tried lately to be like, let me not segregate myself from my own people. You know what I'm saying? Let me not down us all, even if I don't agree with you. Let me tell you, let me figure out your number so I could text you and talk to you about it instead of getting on the internet and like trashing people. Like I've been completely upset at things Candace Owens has said. But I've
Yeah.
never went on the internet and went at her because I felt like, even though I do feel like she can be clownish in certain ways and AOC, both of them, I don't know what's going on out here with everyone. But I just feel like I don't down her conversations because I know how hard it is to be black in those spots. Like, being black in like hot spots are like really a lot of fumes, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, and no matter who gets you there, because you can pander your way there, and white people will love it and they'll put you in those positions and things like that. But I've been trying to, from the future, like try to understand our perspectives and things like that, and try to like not like I don't rally every black opinion I hear, but at least be like, man, I at least ain't gonna talk about you.
Yeah, yeah. I see a lot of opinions, especially with the spawn of ADOS and whatnot. I've seen a lot of opinions that I don't agree with, but I'm just like, let them have a voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Javon Smiley, $10 super chat. He said, if they ain't talking about reparations, they ain't getting my federal vote. I'm only voting locally. We're gonna come back to that point. Squizzy the Genius, thank you again. He said, yes, what is the black vote? Is it relevant? Is the black conservative politics the same as the black liberal politics vote? I'll still contribute. You answered, don't vote. Registered voter from MPLS, One Love. Let's talk about reparations. How you feel about reparations?
Um, I actually am for it in a weird way. Like I'm at reparations. I don't know if it's money or land or what it is. It's just, I mean, if we look at somewhere where you've worked tirelessly somewhere for so many years, and then they so-called let you free, which we aren't, and that's like the biggest gas in the
Yeah.
world. And then you don't get anything for it. You left kind of uneducated, like struggling in education, which is big because education is the prime. Me growing up, even I could go back to like nationality, like me being Jamaican, education is very serious. In my house,
Yes,
and
it is.
yeah, it was very serious for me growing up because what's in your mind nobody can take from you. And I feel like if we had better education in our in our communities and people around us, that people would make more educated decisions on their life. Because being poor and being poor, I'd rather be poor than uneducated. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather
Mm,
have nothing but have sense. Because if you're
mm.
uneducated, if you're
You
if
could
you're
change that.
poor but you got education, you can do a lot of things.
Right.
It doesn't matter about where you're born if you're smart. If you
Right.
have an education, because tons of stories of people who come from nothing and make themselves something due to their education.
Ben Carson.
Yeah, their car. Whether it's like quote unquote American colonial education, or it's like just being educated on something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
take whether you a plumber, a doctor, or you a musician or whatever. Being educated in certain sense, but being poor and uneducated is like a recipe to shoot a nigga because he stepped on your shoe. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or like he's talking to the same girl you talking to, and you can't correlate your feelings because you don't have the right education to go. We could talk about it like how we're talking. So like
Yeah.
that's why I believe in reparations, because I think it's fair that these people like me. My boy said something. My boy's girl was at the studio with us the other night, and we talk like this all the time. And she said, in Germany you can't talk about the Holocaust.
Yes. It's illegal.
It's illegal, and there's no images of it. There's no reminder, and they completely shun it in New Germany. So why is it the fact that in America we have a bunch of symbolisms of racism, we have symbolisms of the past that we must be reminded about every day we get up, and then the worst is being reminded and not getting nothing for it.
Mm,
So that's why
mm,
I'm for like people getting something.
mm.
We can work with something, something. This share of land is for you. This is for you. Maybe even legislation that allows people to do certain things that are like something. I don't know what it is, but
Tax. I say tax exemption for small business. We need like
great.
I need a 10-year break from this goddamn shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Y'all take 30%.
yeah,
What
30%.
Kanye said? He said they want. He said something in their ties. They want that's half of the pie. I'm
Half,
like, yeah,
yeah,
they take half of your money.
half of your bread.
You know what I mean?
After
Like
not giving you shit.
after giving you shit
Not,
and
yeah,
not giving you nothing after
and not
that.
giving you another. Well, how does that work if America is a business? Where does
Right.
that work into the business agenda of what's going on? You
Mm.
wonder why we are out here whooping Target's ass. You know what
Because
I'm
we
saying?
gotta get
Because
my
I
reparations.
mean, yeah, I need something. You left me this, you left me. I can name 1,000 ways you left me. Then you're killing me. Then you're not
Mhm.
giving me. I mean, if we go on the long list of things we're not getting, it's gonna cause a group of people to be highly upset with you.
So peep this. So peep this, right? So I'm pro reparations,
Uh-huh.
and I have a large right leaning conservative following,
Uh-huh.
and they got upset about the reparations topic, obviously.
Yeah.
So I said, number one, you said the Democrats ruined the black community. You said the Democrats have destroyed the inner cities. LBJ and his plans ruined the black community. What welfare ruined the black community. You complained about what Hillary did to the black community. You complained about what Joe Biden did to the black community. All these institutions were the government, but you're saying we don't deserve reparations after you admitted that they had done wrongful doing to us.
They don't because
You
they don't want us to have. And that's what it goes back to. You don't want us to have any. We don't know how to feel. Like what do you want from us? Type. It's like how about if we got something, we wouldn't really even need the government programs because people would have something that allows the economic growth of their community to grow.
yeah.
We can't grow because so, and in return, the cycle continues of people needing the government help. But like if you said, if we had some business loans, we had tax exemptions for 10 years, we had better education, in the school system, maybe teachers got paid a little more in these inner city schools and things of that nature. Small things. We don't need the big things. We're creators.
Mm-hmm.
We already made billions of dollars for this place with little to nothing. So imagine if we had something to build off of, you wouldn't, guess what, white America, you wouldn't even need to bother with us. We'll
Mm.
go right in our little corner, like my Chinese brothers, and I know that's weird at the time 'cause everybody's mad, but my Chinese brothers and sisters, my Russian brothers and sisters, and my Jewish friends who go into their pockets can share with each other like they share with us, but we wouldn't be the disgruntled employees of America.
Mm.
We're the most disgruntled employees of America because we
Yeah.
got left. We worked our ass off
Everybody got reparations except us.
except us. And I'm not saying nobody, that's like everybody like, man, I put in work, but I'm like, we put in work too.
Yeah.
Put in more work and we got beaten for it. And all type of ass whoopings from our father America.
And they say, well, the Irish were oppressed and Italians were oppressed, and I'm like, well, I'll fight for their right to get reparations too.
They should get it too. They should
They
get it
should,
with us. They were oppressed on a different reason though. They weren't oppressed by what they look like. We had
right?
double the problem. We have skin color issues and hair issues too. Like
Yeah,
they can dress and look however they want. They got
yeah. They could hide. They
Yeah,
could
they can
hide. They
hide. They
could
got the
hide.
right passing quote unquote thing where we know that Italians don't eat like regular Americans, but you don't bother them like you bother me. So if you're gonna
Mm.
bother me, like you know what I'm saying, like at least like give me something to give us any like even I like what you said. I'm damn near for that right now. Like tax exempts for small businesses. Like in
At
those communities.
least,
We need that. Let's keep our bread, let us build. And then guess what? You won't even have to hear from us. I
right?
don't even like hearing from y'all. Look, I don't even. We're tired of hearing from us. We tired of marching and talking and fighting and dying, and we don't want to deal with none of this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if this country could find one person with some balls to go, you know what? Let's make it right. That's it. Germany made it right. Why can't we make it right? Is it that hard to make it right? But the guardians, like my man Dr. Claude, I love Dr. Claude, the
I
guardians
love
of racism, they love it. It just I don't know if it's a narrative that they want to continue having themselves because it ain't on their doorstep. But I'm telling you, there's only been a moment in time in the history of the world where a certain group was impressed for so long before something bad really happen. And that's why I'm like, I don't want us to go through that because that could turn for the worse or the better. But it's like, it's you're gonna cause people to do things that you might not really want them to do because they're not in the right state of mind. They're tired, you know what I'm saying? They're frustrated. You think a target to get burned. I don't know what happened. And I don't want that to happen for I don't want us to get hurt. And I don't want no one else to get hurt. So I'm like, yo, let's make it right. Is that so hard to make it right? It ain't hard. Print that shit. Make it right. Go write that
yeah,
shit up. Make it right. Hold the police accountable. Do certain things for the community so we can start feeling like human beings and not have to like turn into we have to go straight Nigerian to our roots on you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Years and they're going crazy and going to like where we really from, you know? And that's why they wonder why we act like that because this is where we really from. Like we really on that. This is like our heritage. Let's get on the heritage. We trying to be American, but if you want us to take us back for real, like I'm not with that. I want nonviolence. I want because it hurts us too. They're gonna come out there and shoot us and hit us with rubber bullets, and niggas don't want to see that. It's
Nah,
2020, dog. I could, I could, I have so much technical. I mean, I could FaceTime. So I keep saying I could do so many things in a technical era, but I'm in 2020 worrying about getting pulled over.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
yeah.
Like, does anybody else feel embarrassed about that besides us? Like,
They don't. It's not a reality in their world, so they don't. It does. It doesn't register.
it doesn't register to them. And that's why I'm like, I don't know what we have to do. I don't know what TED talk we got to have or who we have to speak to let y'all know that we need to get over this in the correct fashion. Even white people are fed up. I'm online, like, there's not only black looters, white people in collective are like, look, please give help these people,
Yeah,
and we need that. We don't need help in any other way. I'm not begging for help, I'm saying that we just need to make it right, because we're going to be good regardless. We're the most creative human race on the planet. We make anything, you know what I'm saying? We can do
yeah.
anything. We take sugar and make it, make it sugar all the time. But I feel like in the grand scheme of, for the people who don't rap, play ball, sing, like us who have podcasts, or you have a podcast, or people that are in a world where they can defend themselves like that, there's regular people too who don't do any of that.
Mm,
People who have normal jobs, who not going to do nothing too crazy but be normal citizens, you know what I'm saying? So it's more for them, not for us entertainers who can go make the money and set up our. That's why I called out yesterday on Twitter. I said, don't let for my black people who have financial freedom, don't feel untapped by this. Don't
mm.
think because you're at the crib and you got this bread and a staff and you in there like, man, it's bothering me, but I don't relate. No, you do relate. You do relate. Don't feel untapped. This is your problem too, because at any moment, I mean, it's been a history of black celebrities taking a turn for the worse. But don't call everybody out now when it take a turn. Just act now. You got the bread. We got the thing. I got it too. I don't have it. Like, I'm not, Jay-Z enough, but I mean, I have enough to like help out and donate and like help the people around me. And like, we all got to do our little part. Don't think because you in the crib and you rap and you hide up that you like, man, I ain't in Minnesota right now. You know what I'm saying? I got some girls around. I don't really deal with. Nah, bro. You know,
It's you too.
hey,
It's your problem too.
hold yourself accountable. Don't make fun.
Because it could come to your city. Don't get it twisted. It could come to your city.
Yeah, financial freedom don't mean you free. It means you got some bread. You know what I'm saying? But if money's the only thing that people can hold you for, then you ain't got money, nothing else. I think the last thing I want someone to say about me is, oh, he got some bread. I want him to say he's a good guy. He's smart. If only thing people can attribute to your character is that you're rich and black, I mean, that's not enough.
Right.
Marvin Gaye, we have a history. At one point, being black and being a musician was like, it was everything. Miles
Mm,
Davis, John Coltrane, James Brown, Marvin Gaye. These guys were like, it made you feel incredible to be black. You're like, man, I am black, brother, all the way. Sometimes I'll be wanting to be like, I'm Jamaican. I'm not.
yeah.
Don't,
I'm not with y'all
I'm not
niggas.
with y'all niggas right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we got to hold ourselves, accountable and do the right thing in times like this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not telling everybody to be corny and do the whole regular degular. I'm just saying, like, don't be on the internet debunking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
like what our rappers, like, not in the sense of how you deal with it, because you create conversation that is healthy and educational,
mm.
which I feel and I respect you for. Like, even me
Thank you.
saying it, you were like, yo, let's debate about it. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what I'd rather do. I don't want you to be like, I served a certain rapper, which I'm not gonna name drop. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even. I don't even got problems with nobody like that. But I just been seeing people like approach it with love,
Yeah.
approach the situation. I've seen, no shout out to Shamik Moore. If you've seen him online, he was saying some things, and I'm not trying to call people out, but it was just like, brother, let's use this. This is a time for me to be exact. Like, let's
Mm.
use this shit for the real reason. Don't get online and talk about ways of approaching it with love. And nah, brother, no, I don't want to hear the love. I don't want to hear all police. All police aren't bad, and I don't. I'm not on that right now. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that in 2 weeks
Yeah.
after he goes to jail or something, or if something gets made right, then I'll hear all the opinions of what we need to change. But right,
Yeah. Right now it's NWA. Fuck the
yeah, right
police.
now it's up. Now it's up right now. It's up in the air. It's stuck there right now. So I don't want to hear like that banter
Yeah.
right now because I'm just too on it right now. You know what I'm saying? But not saying that it's not true. What everyone is saying and their opinions on it is just saying timing. You know,
Mm.
so people can accept the truth. How are we going to hear it if you're telling us when it's cloudy? there's a building on fire. You think I want to hear about like you Shamimo, you talking about how we talk to police? Like I don't how I'm supposed to talk to police. I'm supposed to see them. How you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Can you please take my license and registration because I'm feeling a certain type of way? Like I put my voice or something like that. Like, nah, I treat him like a man. I pay taxes.
Yeah.
I pay taxes.
Yeah.
I'm a taxpayer, a hefty taxpayer at that. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna walk on eggshells when I pay taxes. I'm not
Right.
under the books. I'm not illegal. I am one of the good ones. I am a black citizen of America who pays taxes. You feel me? So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be on eggshells in America. I refuse to be. Like I'm not gonna see and teeter on the line of how I speak to white cops and shit like that. I'm gonna be like, no, brother, we here. I know you quote unquote protecting and serving, but I pay taxes. So me and you can have a good dialogue. I'm not a criminal. Run my record. I got nothing. I am not one of those. You didn't statisticize me. I'm not. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. Speak to me correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it could end up bad for any of us one day with those type of conversations. So, until all of that shit gets fixed, honestly, Hot Tep, I'm like one of them. Like, you know, I'm one of those guys on the other side right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was dope, man. I appreciate you coming on and having this talk.
I do too, man. This shit was dope as hell.
This shit was very healthy.
Yeah.
I hope this gets passed around. I hope people share this. I'm so, to people that wanted to see us fight and have this thing end in some threats. I apologize. We
Yeah.
couldn't
I'm
meet your
sorry, everyone who
expectations.
was saying it's gonna be smoke. It's no smoke because this is my black Jamaican brother who we need to hear his opinions, and his opinions are vital to the progression of how we think. You feel what I'm saying? And I wasn't disagreeing with the homie. I wanted to talk to him about it, and I'm glad
Yeah,
my tweet because he got a lot
it
of
was perfect.
opinions and he's popping. So I don't want to. I'm glad it got to him, but bro, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like no corny bullshit or nothing. Like honestly, like I think people like your opinion needs to be held. In our shit, we need alternative thought. We can't all think the same. We ain't gonna go nowhere.
Yeah.
We're all singing the same tune. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to have more conversations with people that are on the other side of the aisle with me like this, because I don't think they get to interact with me and pick my brain to see that we agree a lot more than you think.
Yo, when I said I was going on with you, my homies who are big fans of yours was like, be careful, like make sure you say that he's strong and he's smart. I'm like, look, this is my guy. Like, and then when we start talking, I say, yo, he like me. We may disagree on things, but for the most part in this conversation, we agree on a lot of things. Like,
Yeah,
I think because you can have a fan base, you say things that aren't quote unquote typical, you know what I'm saying, that you've gained a fan base from people who they think hate us. No, they're actually intrigued in this brother's conversation.
right.
And so we should support that and be like, yeah, let's let Hotep lead the way for us for those type of ideals of thinking. Because bro, there's a lot more people like you than you think. I have a lot of friends who are black like me, who come from our shit, who think like you.
Mm,
You're definitely not alone in those conversations either. You know what I'm saying? Like we need alternative thought. We can't keep going up the same. So
yeah.
I continue to watch and like support and like chime in on things and things like that.
Word up. We following each other now, so I'm gonna be following up with you. We gonna support, man. We gonna build, man.
Yeah, let's build. And you Jamaican, so now I'm like I'm extra.
Yeah.
I come to Jersey one day and I'm on like moving around. I'm gonna pull up on you with a plate or something.
Yeah, holla at me. I'm out here,
I'm gonna
yeah.
holler at you.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. See.
Yes, brother.
Yo, it's been another wonderful stream. Thank you for everybody for watching. I'm off for the weekend. Hopefully nothing crazy happens and I gotta come back and stream, but I'm off for the week and I'll be back next Wednesday with Wendy Yo with our next episode of Love and Marriage. This was Lunch Money Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, my brother,
You too, brother.
and Hotep.
Yes, sir.